Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I'm super excited for this video because we're going to be talking about all the new indie makeup releases from the past 2 weeks and what I think about them. I do this series pretty much every single week on my channel. I had to miss last week unfortunately, but I love talking about new indie makeup and whether I'm going to buy them or not, and just getting to chat about releases from smaller brands. So if that sounds like content you'd be interested in, I do a ton of indie makeup content on my channel, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. This series is inspired by Aniela Kanikavist and Samantha March, so I have both of their channels linked down below, as well as all the Instagram accounts that I use for information for this video, a bunch of discount codes for indie brands. I have a list in my description box that is mine, but there's also a Google Docs, which is just an overall list of codes from a bunch of different bloggers, Instagrammers, YouTubers. So hopefully that's helpful. Now let's go ahead and jump right on in. Okay, so the very first release we have to chat about, I actually already have in my hands today, although I have not filmed a video on it yet. Hopefully this coming week I can do one, but this is the new Nomad Cosmetics palette, and it is the Cartagena Mágica palette, which is based on a city called Cartagena in Colombia. I think the packaging on this is just so beautiful. Here is what the inside looks like, and it is a really pretty color story. It's definitely your kind of typical like sunsetty palette with yellows, oranges, pinks, and a little bit of purple mobbiness going on. But the thing that gets me about this palette is that it is so sparkly. Like the shimmer shades just look literally magical as the name suggests. So I'm really excited about this, especially the shade Eres el Mundo. Like that is just the most beautiful gold. I think that after seeing like some different Instagram stories and whatnot of these shimmers, I probably would have purchased this myself if I hadn't received it in PR, because I do really like the way it looks. So next we have a little sneak peek from Alamar Cosmetics, and they are going to be releasing a La Costa highlighter. It is in the works finally, and we have a little sneak peek here, which is Gabby, the owner, and she's showing a bunch of different pans of samples of the highlighter. I was talking on our Instagram stories about the struggles of making the La Costa highlighter and how when she does it as a bigger pan and like does it like formulating it as a highlighter, it's not quite as intense. So she was asking if people want that or if they just want a huge pan of the eyeshadow, and I really love the way the eyeshadow looks on the skin, so I personally voted just a huge pan of the eyeshadow. And this is something where it's like, it's silly for me to buy because I already have the eyeshadow in a palette, and how likely am I really to hit pan on it? But at the same time, I kind of want it. And then I'll also go ahead and leave a picture on screen of what the little compact looks like for a single, which I think is super cute. I do wish that if they are going to release it as a highlighter, that it would be part of a bundle like all of their other releases, because they pretty much always do like a fair to light product, a medium tan product, and then a deep dark product, if I remember is what they categorize the shades as. So I would hope that they would do that with the highlighter as well and not release just one shade, but I know that people have specifically like begged for that eyeshadow to become a highlighter, so I'm really excited about it, and I probably will end up buying it, knowing me. Okay, so next we have a new palette from Maeder Makeup Labs, and this is the Skelfie palette, which is launching soon. I believe it's going to be $50 if I remember correctly, and I think it's a fun name, a Skelfie, like a skeleton selfie. I'm pretty sure that's where that's going. So I do think this looks cute. There's two different highlighters, and then there's some different eyeshadows. I actually have purchased some matte shades from Maeder Makeup Labs in the past, but I ended up decluttering them because I didn't super love the formula. But it looks like this palette mostly consists of shimmers, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I'm not like super called to buy it or anything. And the two highlights look like very intense, sparkly, glittery highlights, which is not what I've been going for as much lately. So I think this one is going to be a pass for me. Okay, next is a release that I'm very excited about. This is from Shroud Cosmetics, and they are going to be coming out with their first collab palette, and it looks like it's going to be like a Halloween theme. There's a shade called Spooky right in the middle, and part of me really hopes that this is a collaboration with BeautBean, because I know she loves Shroud. I know that she has a code with them and everything, and I feel like she is a spooky queen, so I'd be so excited if it is her. But either way, I really like Shroud Cosmetics, and honestly I'm kind of tempted to buy the Arcana palette even though it's a little bit older. So I don't know, if I like the color story, I could definitely see myself ending up to purchase this. I just had to update you guys really quickly that it is in fact a collaboration with BeautBean, Betty Jean. I'm so excited. The palette is so cute, it's so her. I love the color story. I just had to get it off my chest that I will definitely be buying it. I love it. And then next we have, I wanted to mention this, I've mentioned it in the past quickly, but they are available now. Terra Moons has new fall mattes and duochromes. There's going to be 7 mattes and 3 duochromes, and they're available now at the time that you're seeing this, as long as they haven't sold out yet, because they're releasing the time that I'm filming this in like a few hours. So I'm not sure how the launch is going to go, but I was definitely really interested in these. I thought they were really cool fall colors without being traditional fall colors, and I was going to purchase these, but I just got a message right as I started to film this video from Terra Moons that they will be sending these over to me in PR. So I'm really excited about this launch. And then they're also going to be releasing their lip glosses. So they have a bunch of neutral shades and then some lip topper ones, which I'm not really a lip topper kind of girl. I'm not sure if they're going to be sending any lip glosses over in PR. If not, I'll have to purchase one of the neutral shades because I really am curious to try the formula, but those are all going to be available now. So next we have a new release from Veska Beauty, and not gonna lie, I was really tempted by this one. I actually haven't been buying a lot of makeup at all recently. It's been like 3 weeks since I purchased any makeup because I've just had my head other places. But Veska Beauty came out with some new Lush Glow Creamy Lip Oils. They're available now for $26 each, so they are definitely a little bit on the pricey side, but I was considering purchasing one of these and then also one of their highlighters to try because I like their bronzer, heard really good things about the highlight, and I'm just curious to try more from Veska Beauty as they release more products. And the highlighter was already kind of on my wish list, but I was like, ooh, maybe I'll wait till they release something new. So when I saw the lip oils, I was like, yes, I love a good lip oil. And the lightest shade is called Ginger Lily, which made me laugh because one of my really good friends that I actually met through YouTube, her name is Lily. I'm a ginger. I sent it to her. I'm like, this is us in a color. And it's also the color that I would go for the most. It was like the light, soft, neutral shade, which is definitely my vibes. So I'm tempted by these, but the thing is I couldn't find any coupon codes that worked. So I was like, maybe I'll wait. I don't really feel like paying full price. Don't really feel like paying $26 for a lip oil, especially when I have ones from Ulta that I love that are like $10 and then you can get them on sale on top of that. But I could see myself purchasing the shade Ginger Lily eventually. I think it's super cute. And then next we have a new release from Emme Cosmetics, Emme. I always feel the need to mention that because it's not the one that Michelle Phan does. It's a different Emme Cosmetics that's a small Canadian indie brand. Everything's handmade, and they are coming out with 2 new eyeshadow palettes. It's technically one palette, but they have a light to medium and a medium to deep option for the palettes, and I think that this is a super pretty color story. I kind of love both palettes actually. I love them equally, and I could see purchasing both because they're both so pretty and they're just like a mixture of like fall tones with like pops of blue. But the thing is that these are all shades that already exist in their collection. And I have so many shadows from Emme Cosmetics that although they haven't released the names of what each individual shade is, I can guarantee that I probably already have most of the shades from both palettes. So it wouldn't make sense for me to purchase this, but I still wanted to mention it because I love Emme Cosmetics. I love their formula, and if you've been wanting to try their products, I really recommend their eyeshadows. I live for their matte formula, so this could be the perfect opportunity to try them if you've been wanting to, and also to get a bunch of shades at once and not have to worry about them restocking and get like a full complete color story. So I like the idea of it. I'm not going to purchase it myself just because I don't think it'll be a good value for my money if I already own a bunch of the shades. Alright, so next we have a new release from Nomad Cosmetics. And I thought that this was a pretty interesting release. They came out with some new Sculpt and Shape face products, and there's some face brushes, which the brushes, none of them really appealed to me all that much. And then there is a powder set with 4 different shades, and those have like a duo that's like light to medium, I believe, and then a medium to deep just powders. I don't really love the idea of that stack because I mean, unless you're a makeup artist, I don't feel like it's going to be good value for your money. I know personally I could probably only use one of those shades, so it wouldn't work for me. I'm really curious if they're going to sell them individually because I could see picking up just one shade. And then they also have another stack which is specifically for deep skin tones, and it's a cream stack. And I was actually watching, and apparently like the reason why is because Laura when she does, she's one of the owners, when she does makeup, she says that cream translates better on really deep skin tones. So I thought that was really interesting. All right, next we have a new release from Goss, and these are new weightless blush palettes, and it looks like they come with one blush and one highlighter in each palette. And honestly, when I saw a little sneak peek, because I got an email from Beautylish that was just like a really up close picture, I thought, ooh, maybe I'll try one of these because I have some credits on Beautylish left over, and I just was a little bit curious. But actually seeing the full picture, I feel like the pairings of these blush highlighter duos are a little bit odd. Like the deepest blush is with the lightest highlight. I don't know, none of the duos together really scream to me as something that I would want, so I guess I'll watch reviews on it and I'll be curious to see what people think about the formula, but the coloring just doesn't really get to me. I don't love any of the options, so that's going to be a pass. Okay, so next we have a release that I'm really excited about, and that is from Colored Raine. They are going to be coming out with brushes, a bunch of different eye brushes, and we can't actually see what the brushes are right now, but you can see the handles, and I think that the ombre is super beautiful and also pretty unique. I feel like normally ombres on brushes are like super colorful, and this is just more neutral, and I really like it. But it looks like there's going to be a small blending, a medium blending, a round shadow. Oh, okay, that's all. Okay, they have the same brush multiple times. Okay, maybe there's not that many brushes actually looking close. But the reason I'm excited about this is because I have two brushes that I got from them when I picked up the Safari Rain palette, and I thought that they were really nice and they just worked perfectly. So I'm definitely curious to see what these end up looking like, and I might end up purchasing some if they are shapes that really appeal to me. Then next we have two new palettes from Suva Beauty, and they are releasing Hydra FX palettes, which their Hydra FX are their liners, and they've been doing them as singles forever. I know so many brands are doing cake liners now, but Suva Beauty was definitely the OG, and I do have quite a few of their liners, but I don't ever use them. I just don't use liner. So I'm happy that they're coming out with their own version, and they have a neon and a pastel, and I feel like they look nice, but I just don't need these. I also already have in front of me here, I have the neon and pastel palettes from Nomad Cosmetics that they sent over in PR, and I haven't even used those ones yet. So I have no room for any more cake liner in my life. So I think it's cool they're doing it, but I feel like I wish that they would have done it a little bit sooner. The wash is going on in the background, and I'm really hoping you guys can't hear it, but if you can, I apologize. So next we have a new release from Voss, and I can't remember what this palette's called actually. Their name's not even here. I'll have it linked down below, but I really don't like this palette. I really don't. I like a lot of things Voss has done, but looking at this color story, I don't know what it is, but it just kind of looks a little bit ugly to me. I don't call palettes ugly that often. I know it's very subjective, but this one, there's just something about the color story overall. I'm just like, ew, no. I don't know if it's the color story and then like the background packaging not matching or what it is, but this is just a big pass for me. I just don't like the way it looks. Super uninspired when I look at that one. Okay, so lastly for indie releases, we have 3 new lipsticks that just launched from Vive Cosmetics. They launched 2 different bullet lipsticks. One is called Hangiar. I don't know how to say that. I don't know that word. Apparently that means to hang out. There's one called Kalo K, and then there's also a liquid lipstick called Aventurera, which feels like such a tongue twister for some reason. And these are 3 new shades, but for me, they're advertising these as a fall release. These don't feel fall to me at all, like the bold pinks. I feel like I think of bold pinks as summer and not fall, but they're available now in case you are interested in any of them. I do really like their bullet lipstick formula, but I've never tried their liquid lipsticks. Okay, so now jumping into some mainstream releases, although this first one that I want to start off with is Pat McGrath, and I believe she is independently owned, but it's kind of hard to find the information online, like the full information. But anyways, she's releasing a new collection, and it is her holidays collection. Pat McGrath is on the gray area. Every time I look about the cruelty-free status, it's back and forth, which is why I don't personally purchase her products, even though they are super beautiful and I hear amazing things, and there's lots of things that tempt me. But I have to say, this new collection, the big palette, oh my gosh, this is the first thing from Pat McGrath. I'm like, I love that. I believe it's like $78, which is still a very expensive palette, but it is less than normal for Pat McGrath, so I'm curious if it is going to be up to her standards for her normal eyeshadow launches when they are more expensive palettes. I just think that this is super beautiful. I love the colors in here. I love the textures. This is the first Pat McGrath release that I've been extremely tempted by. Ugh, I love it. I love it so much. I love like the pops of pink and purple and green. I'm just gonna try and not think about that one. But lastly, Lime Creme released a new palette and it's called their Greatest Hits Classics. And it's an 8-pan palette that has shades from other palettes that they already have. And I actually do have a bunch of Lime Creme palettes. So of this new Classics palette, I already have 6 of the 8 shades. So it's definitely a pass for me. But I did want to mention it anyways because I feel like it's actually a really cute little color story. I really love the gray purples, the burgundy, the like light pop of pink. I just think it's such a cute palette. I like the outside packaging with the roses. I feel like this is one of those where if they hadn't mentioned that this was shades that already existed in their line, I probably would have bought it. The logical part of me is like, you don't need that. You already have 75% of those shades, so it's going to be a pass, but I do think it's actually super cute. So that's everything for today's indie makeup releases. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.